Your turn, Yogi boy.
What is up, guys? This is AlintheaYoh coming at you with a discussion about a new trap card that's been announced, and specifically a new virus card. And that card is called Shadow Spread Virus. It is a normal trap card, and its effect reads as follows. Tributes one dark monster with 2000 or more defense. Check your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of their third turn after this card's activation. And destroy all monsters with 1500 or less defense. So this is a really cool card in my opinion. It's kind of a opposite version of Crush Card Virus, with the fact that Crush Card would require a dark monster 1000 attack or less, and it would destroy monsters with 1500 attack or more. This one requires a monster with 2000 defense or higher and destroys monsters with 1500 defense or less. So decks that can use this card, there's actually not a huge amount. Skull Servants can use this because Lady in the White is a 2200 defense. Pretty funny, right? So I'm pretty happy about that one. But decks that basically have monsters that are 1500 or less will get hurt by this card, quite obviously. The thing about virus cards is the fact that it gives you knowledge of what your opponent has for the next 3 turns. You check any monsters that they have, including face down monsters, to make sure it meets the criteria of the card. Then you check their hand, so you see the whole hand that they have, and then the next 3 cards that they draw, no matter what it is. That, in my opinion, has always been one of the biggest things of these cards, because they just give you the knowledge that you need to make counterplays to what your opponent has. There aren't loads of cards that have a big defense, in my opinion, especially dark cards that can be used widely, but it's still a really good card and one that has a lot of potential in my opinion. As I said, I think this card I will be getting as a card that could be used in Skull Servants. But then again, you have things like Crush Card that can still technically be used, but it doesn't have the same flavor that it once did. Crush Card is definitely a watered down version of what it used to be, simply because of the errata. It was way too strong, and even if it was in the original errata today, it'd still be one of the most ridiculous cards to date. But since it's errata, obviously it's not really used anymore. Now comes in Shadow Spread Virus, and I think it's just overtaking it slightly. The problem with the card is that you have to interact with defense. So you have more of a trouble with finding a monster that has 2000 or higher defense. In the same sense, you're probably going to be hitting a fair amount of cards that your opponent has, because defense isn't really that much of a big thing nowadays. You see cards that have a high attack but low defense, and it's going to be very interesting to see what actually happens with it. Obviously this card's great against things like Shiranuis, because you're going to hit basically every monster that they have, because they all have 0 defense basically. If Shiranui become actual meta, then that might be something for people to consider in the future. Overall, the card is nice. I like the way that they've done it. It's fairly fair and balanced, because it is a bit more difficult to get to a dark monster that has 2000 defense or higher, and you're only hitting monsters with 1500 defense or lower, so it's not like you're hitting higher, the same effect of Crush Card, because then that'll be a little bit brutal. Because then we will go back to the days of Crush Card basically winning games, and people will start forcibly putting in Shadow Spread Virus into their decks. So I want to know what you guys think of the card. Do you think it is a really good virus card and one of the best ones since Crush Card's announcement, or do you just think it's a bit meh, not really going to be used, and it will just fade into the background? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.